a little different this time. You know, we basically co-host right now. We co-host right now.
Basically, me and you. You already know when we together.
Oh yeah, we should. So today is the interview. My boy N Banks, Nelson Morris from CMD Investors. Basically, what they do is they take your money and they flip houses.
We take their money.
Yeah, he'll break it down to you more so often, but you know, like I say to everybody, I've known him since I was like yay high, 13 years old. That's a hot minute.
13, because you're in elementary.
Was that elementary?
I met you when I was going into freshman year, so you weren't even in junior high yet.
Damn, well there you go. Well there you have it. You know what I'm saying? There it is, so it's been a minute, so we're out here I had to get an interview with him because he's basically the same. We're cut from the same cloth, going to the entrepreneurship world, and he would be definitely a good inspiration for a lot of different people that are trying to learn the business and navigate through it and figure it all out as well. But before we get into it, I got to shout out Paradiso Vacay. If you want to get a timeshare for you and your family or for you and your friends to go out to a private resort, hey, that's the place to do it at. And also, a shout out to Aventino Watches. Thank you for the watches that you're sending out to me. Much love to you. Go from there. So, let's just start off from the beginning. Start way back when we was young back, in the studio. Yeah, exactly. We're about to bring broken beats in here. But even before you started even getting into the flipping of the houses and doing all that stuff, you always had the money on the mind. You know what I'm saying? You was N Banks, aka N Banks.
Gotcha.
This is Broken Beats, right? So, what were you doing in the entrepreneurship world before you even got into flipping of the houses and everything?
I don't know, man. The crazy thing is what did I not do, right? So because you've been there, you've seen it all. So I guess the last thing, if we're working backwards, right? I had a watch company where we started a watch where we do weekly, monthly subscription, and got up to pretty good amount of subscribers, and then I was getting into buying a house, so I had to kind of put that on pause, which is something I look back into doing. But and then before that, I can't even remember. But the last big thing was probably music. It's probably music. And the cool thing is music, and I think I like entrepreneur stuff because with music, it's you just create something in your head and you can turn around and sell it. And so I love the fact that you can just create something from nothing, from a thought, and turn around and make it into a business and sell it, and people like it. That's just what I love to do, man.
Hey, that's exactly. And then you shout out the name of the watch company when you
Naked Wrist. Okay, yeah. Stop. I gotta get you right too.
Yeah. So Naked Wrist was
the name of the company. Yep. And so yeah, it was a monthly watch subscription, and I think I started that in 2000. I don't even know, man. What was that, 16 or something? Maybe 16 or so.
Yeah. Was it still at Mama's Studio?
It was still at Mama's Studios at the time when that one popped off. And so then it was around that time because I started and I got it up and running, and then I was going into buying the house a few years later. So yeah, it started in 2016, but we are going to get it back popping again eventually. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Understand what I'm saying?
Watch out.
Watch out, because it could be a problem 2 to 3.
So before we even get into the house flipping, because we're going to get into that here in a second. Yeah, but definitely, I just remember. Yeah, 2 p.m. What I do remember though is when we were out in Atlanta. Yes, we went out there. What was that, a few months ago? It was in the summertime, right? Was it May?
Yeah, it's this is maybe a year ago now.
So we were out in Atlanta, and he was already dabbling in, watching YouTube videos, learning everything he needed to learn about flipping houses and doing all that. So we went and saw my uncle out in Buckhead. Shout out Buckhead, Atlanta. We went to some cheeseburger spots. So we rode in separate cars. So I rode with my uncle, and he rode with my uncle's friend. They just came back from golfing or something. We get to the spot, and he runs up to me and grabs me.
I ran up to him.
It's almost
I jogged up to him, and the way you say, I ran up. He probably sprinted. I probably had to sprint.
Button up, flying up, everything.
And I had a button up on. Damn. Okay.
He grabbed my arm with bro.
Grab his arm too. Yeah, I grabbed the nigga up. I grabbed the nigga's arm and everything. Then what I tell him?
Said, I'm gonna be a millionaire. And I said, well, damn. I said, what's good with it. He's like, man, I just talked to Melvin, and that had to be like, maybe like a 10-15 minute conversation.
But it let me know everything that I need to know. Now let me ask you this: have I ever told you something and it didn't happen?
I can't recall.
I can't recall.
So that's the thing. So now I'm like looking at it. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So then after 4 or 5 months, next thing I know, this boy's out here flipping things like hotcakes. So I said, okay. So like let them kind of know. You don't have to let them know all the secret sauce. But what kind of like inspired you to want to get into it in the first place, besides just the money and everything else?
I always got to put the money first. It's when we sold that last house, and Chris, our barber, his wife was helping us do the closing, and I was learning so much about closing and selling houses and doing stuff. Me and Ashley had she was staying at her folks' house, and I was staying at my mom's house, because I was like, we got to get our money right going into the second house, because I was, I'm money driven, you know what I mean, rule number one. And so pretty much I was like just looking at, I was in my mom's room all day, because when I was like too old to be at home at that point, once she had a couple houses. And so I was just looking in the room, I was just looking at YouTube all day, and then I came across like Max Maxwell and Hot Wholesale and Jared Norton and all those people that were kind of in that realm. And I started thinking to myself, like, man, like, these, I don't even know if we could say the N word. I was about to go there too. I'm not just because, we be chick dudes on FaceTime. So I was like, man, these boys out here really doing this, like, how they're explaining how you can make money without money or make money with little bits of money. So I was just like, man, this is real. So I got to studying it, and I was looking at it every day. And I remember Max Maxwell had a video, and he was like, if you want to get into wholesaling or just flipping house or whatever it is, you got to get into podcasts daily, watching them, making sure it's something that, it's part of your everyday routine. I was like, man, you don't probably really have to do all that. So I started looking at them, and then I got hooked on it, and I did start watching it every day. And I called Kirk, and I was like, Kirk, because he had been trying to get in the houses. That's our homie too, Kirk. He's a Kirk. K-Card, yeah. So I was like, man, I got to really figure this stuff out. And so I told him at that point, I said, man, look, whoever, we're going to fail upwards. And so from that day forth, I jumped head first into the game and started doing my thing, and then I haven't stopped since.
Hey man, that's dope. Because I saw it happen. When I saw it happen, I said, man, I need to go ahead and get my money up so I can.
I can go ahead and money up.
So I can dive into it and swim with it.
You basically want to go ahead first too. Don't put no pinky toe in.
So like you said at the beginning that they showed you how to do it with little money or how to do it with big money. Like how did you raise the funding to get to the point to where you're at now?
Well, you know what? With no money, them boys was right. With no money. So I started hitting the phones, and then me and Kirk and RD, we had like a conversation. We were trying to work things out together, and we were doing it, but it's a slow burn, right? So it's a slow burn, and so it's kind of slowing down. But I said, man, I'm gonna stick with it, and I was just hustling, and then I hit my first deal. I think I don't even know 5 or 6 months in. And it was a large chunk of it was a large deal. You see what I'm saying? You know, large are professional beats and everything. So extra large. So I hit that stride and made it happen. And then after then, it wasn't no looking back after that.
So that's definitely good to know, because that kind of goes straight into this. Like, so if someone's like first starting out, since people gave you advice, and they gave you valuable advice to get to where you got to now, what advice would you give to somebody starting out at the same spot you were when you were starting out?
I would say, you know what, you have to put the time in. You can't get analysis paralysis. You have to jump in and just start failing. You're not going to learn it all the first day. You're not going to have all the answers the first question, the first call. Just jump in and start doing it, and you'll learn, you'll pick it up. You're gonna get it head first. So the biggest thing I would tell them is to just start. No matter where you start it, is just get started. Because once you understand what works for you, it's just like in any business, right? There's Nike and Adidas, but they don't do things the same. So they have to figure out what works best for them. So once you jump in and you figure out the stride that works for you, it's just rinse and repeat. You just do it again, right? So if you jump in and you're trying something out and it may or may not be working, if you make $5 going left and you make $10 going right, then you know, man, I'm gonna stay going right, and then you just rinse and repeat, and then once you get better at that, that 10 will turn into 100, 1,000, or whatever, and you'll keep making it happen.
Yeah, and that's exactly. I can definitely agree with that because the biggest thing that I hear, like when I'm out here interviewing people and go through this process, they're saying the hardest thing is just starting. Started. Because like you said, you get analysis paralysis. You say, oh, this could happen, or this could happen, or this could happen, and then it's like, well, dang, like you're thinking yourself out of whatever you're trying to get to, whatever goal you're trying to get to. It's like just go into it because you don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea, except that you want to be successful, but. Like you said, you can't be afraid to suck. You can't be afraid to fail.
You can't be afraid of nothing because the money don't care. You see what I'm saying? So you can't be afraid of nothing because the money does not care. So that's for me. That's what drives me left to right. So if I see that the 10 is turning into 100, I really can't get into my feelings about what's going on. If it's working for me, I have to go that way. So you have to stick with what you know works and go that way, and that's just the way the business works. So I'm pretty sure the first time you sold this shirt, and then people hit you up and like, hey man, I like this shirt, you jump on and go that way. If they don't buy the pink shirt, but they buy the black shirt, well, you ain't gonna order no more pinks.
Exactly, big facts. That's kind of how it went. It's kind of still rolling right now. Audio Apparel, baby, shout out. Shout out. So, I know that, you have this business, and this is more of like a question of how do you kind of want to expand it? Do you want to have eventually just have employees making the calls for you, or do you want to be the one that's have hands on to everything that owns it, or you want to just eventually just have a whole real estate business or a whole house flipping business where you just have 100 employees and they're doing their thing and you're just kicking back just on the yacht or something,
Anyway, so a dream of mine is I really don't want to have like 100 people and doing all that. I want to be a lazy millionaire. I tell everybody who meets me, my goal is to do the least amount of work for the most amount of money. So that's where I'm heading. So ideally for me, I had 2 employees recently that we just kind of had to move off of. And so just because time it's just slowing down, it's part of the season and things were slowing down. But the goal would be to have probably 4 or 5 employees tops, working leads, working processes, teach them what I know so I can get them going. And then that way I can kind of be hands off and work on the bigger projects. So right now we're flipping a house out in Dallas. So I want to be more hands on to the actual project and what's going on with the flipping now that instead of maybe some of the other lead marketing and parts of those business. So ideally for me, have a team of 4 or 5 people running marketing and getting things to the closing table, and then I'll just kind of pick it up from there. That'd be an ideal situation. But again, we'll have to see what happens, what works best, right? Because 5 people may be too many, it may not be enough. I might get in there and 5 people, I might say, man, I need to double up. So you never know, man. I'm still. That is yeah, so you might have to get in there and double it up, and then get popping. But for now, I just want to have 4 or 5 people working marketing. I like doing the flipping part, so I'm gonna stick with that for now, and then we'll grow.
Okay, so you talked about like the leads, and because that kind of leads into how you stay updated. So I guess that kind of leads into the leads. No pun intended. No pun. But kind of explain to them what leads actually are, because when you say things like when I was talking to Jared, he was talking about the routes and all that stuff, and they don't know what that is. You're talking about something, and you're talking over their head. So kind of explain to them what leads are in regards to the business that you run.
Yeah, so in the business that I'm in, the business is literally buying houses. So we're trying to get a house at a profit. We're trying to get a house at a price that allows us to add value into it and then to put it back in the market or keep it for a rental. So when a lead comes in, a lead is somebody who's looking to sell their house. So we're trying to evaluate with that lead. Is there a margin in us there for us to make a deal on this house? What's their timeline, right? So if they need to sell it tomorrow, are we able to do that? And we also need to see what's going on with that house. So if they come in, a lead may come in, it may be priced right and everything is going great, but if they tell me that the foundation's cracked in half and the roof is off and the house is only worth worth $100,000, but they want 70 for it, then it just might not work because all the work that needs to be done. So a lead is somebody who's looking to sell their house, and we just need to evaluate a few key options in there. They say you want to look at timeline, price, and motivation. So, once you evaluate those things, it'll tell you a lot, and then you kind of pivot which way you need to move from there.
Oh shoot! I need someone to lead me to a house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You might want to fall into one.
Exactly. I need to follow the leader. You know what I'm saying?
Because they out.
So that's good on the lead. So now people can kind of understand that whole process and exactly what goes along with it, instead of just assuming like, oh, I need $50,000 before I get into a business like this. Like he's explaining to you, no, you don't need that. You need to have the heart, the hustle, and the mindset to be able to do it. Mindset's really big on that one. So whenever you started out, doing it, how have your priorities changed, your organizational skills, everything since you started out to where you are right now?
You trying to get deep in.
You know I like to get deep in.
Yeah, stop. He said the interview gonna be at least 2 to 3 hours. Stop. So what was the question?
How did your priorities change?
Okay, the priorities
started. Organization, all that stuff.
The biggest thing that's changed is houses have become a priority to me. Mm-hmm. Whenever I was working at my old job, and I was thinking, like my biggest fear in life is not having enough money to retire. So I was working at my old job, like, all right, like this. Got to get a promotion, got to work hard, got to put money away, got to keep saving. And then once you do a couple house deals, you realize, like, what am I doing here at this 9 to 5? So the mind state has been get houses and do work consistently there, because that'll outpace your 9 to 5 very quickly. Mm-hmm. And the mindset is now seeing a vision that allows me to retire in 3 to 4 to 5 years instead of waiting until I'm 65, right? So then now I'm thinking the mindset is everything that I look at is how many dollars is that going to be to me, whether it's a flip, whether it's a hold, whether it's whatever. How much is that going to get me closer to my end goal of not having to work? So that's what the new mindset is. And an organization is follow up. When you're getting leads in, follow up is the key. Everybody's situation changes daily. Changes weekly, changes monthly. So the organization is making sure you know where your leads are, where you left off talking to them, and how you can get talk to them about what's motivating them to get rid of their property. So you got to stay organized, and you got to figure out a goal for yourself, and then you got to work towards that goal. Because the goal is always to not work. The goal is to have $1 million.
The goal is to be chill.
So you're not going to get $1 million tomorrow. So you got to set that goal. Like, how can I get $20,000 a month consistently? How can I get $50,000, $100,000 a month consistently? And then you'll hit that other goal.
See, I gotta listen to this. He's dropping the knowledge on you. Do you wanna work the 9 to 5 and be working at that thing like you said till 65, and then still not be able to retire, and then still not have enough money in your 401k to get to where you're trying to go? And I don't know if you're trying to go anywhere at 65, but I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to be working your whole life and your knees hurt, your elbows hurt, all that stuff, man. You don't want to be doing all that, man. So
the crazy thing that people don't understand is, we're 30 something. You could work a normal, decent job from when you're 20 to when you're 65 and retire and get let's just say you get $3,000 a month from Social Security or whatever when you retire. $3,000 a month. Well, I hope you don't have a house note. Well, I hope you don't have a car note. Well, I hope, matter of fact, I hope you don't even have a hope. What I'm saying is that you could work your whole life to leave with $3,000 a month when you get ready to retire. I bought a house in Dallas that by the time, in a few years, it'll be $2,000 a month once we get it paid off. So the thing is, you can buy something today that can give you that kind of money that you don't, you know what I mean? That years from now, like, okay, if you buy 10 of those, then what's that? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just that's one of the things that changed my mindset. Is like, why would I work every day to retire and have like $200,000 in the bank and $3,000 a month? Like, no, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Not I said the captain.
No, that's what he's saying. I've never been on a small boat. So,
Appreciate everybody coming through. My bad. I'm like I always tell you, we're a little ways from it, but I can see names. Mike, Larry.
You gotta call me.
Ivan, my man. Chase.
I'm glad you're safe, man. You made it.
Yeah, Brandon, I see you, bro. Much love. But we just over here talking about big money talk. You definitely. This is a great one to rewind back to talk about getting to the money, man. Because this is the main goal on this one, man. CMD Investors, by the way, that's the name of his company. Flip houses, make money, take money. They do what they gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is a more of an internal question, you know, about like the style that your hustler style. Because everybody has their own style. Like Warren Buffett, he invests in the small things, you know, and then that's how he makes his money. Bill Gates, he invests in technology, and that's how he makes his money. He creates. So how would you describe your hustler style, mentality, or whatever you do to get to where you need to go in life?
You know, I don't know. My mindset is like, once I smell money and I see money, I just need. That's why I kept making beats. I think I love music because like once I got customers and I was like, oh, so like when I started recording, I think it was like $5 an hour that I started out at, and then like by the time I left recording, I think it was like $30 an hour or something like that. So, but the thing is, like once I could smell the money, it was like, oh my god. So like I think back when I started recording, I think the normal job was $7 an hour. So then I was making $5 an hour recording with no taxes, which is actually the same as
$7 exactly.
So I was like, oh my god, I could make this money and do music. And then by the time I got to $30 an hour, it was like, you know what I mean? I guess it just, I had a venture stop, but it was like, man, you could do this full time. So like when I smell money, I just attack it. And so with the real estate, you know, I smell money, and so I'm attacking it. And for me, my mind state right now is like my hustle mentality is just get as much as I can physically attain that makes sense. So like right now, I don't want to be flipping or trying to do 4 or 5 houses at once. I'm not there yet in my business, but I do want to be doing 3. I can figure that out. And the thing is, I'm doing 1, and I'm adding another one to it. So I never done any of it. But again, like I told you, I'm gonna fail upwards because the money's up there. So I gotta fail upwards, and so even if I stumble, slip, or fall, that's the direction that I'm going.
Hey, man, see, slipping, falling, but I can get up. I can get up. That's where we at right now. XMD right there, triple X, whatever.
Yeah. Diesel's in here.
So you know, and this is kind of another. I wouldn't say an internal question, but it's kind of in that same realm. You know, like you've been doing it for a while now. How long have you been in business?
Just been about a year.
About a year? Okay. Do you remember the day you started?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's always a big thing to me. I always feel like
I got my LLC, so I have to go back and look at it. But around here, we do plaques for deals. So the deal is what matters. I don't know. We'll look at when the LLC started, but you know, we got. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
I got you. So like knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently?
Started when I was 12. Started when I was 10. I would have started earlier. I started a lot earlier. I would have started as soon as. So think about this. I'm 34. If I would have just bought, let's just say I was, you know, smart, and I would have bought, and I started at even 27. That's still late in life. If I would have just bought 1 house a year from the time I was 27 till now, I would be like I would be. Conversation would be different. So if there's anything that I would do, it would be start sooner in real estate and stick with it for sure. That's what I would do if I could, man, because everything else I tried. But it's like, the thing is that, you know how like you always see that stuff on Instagram where it's like you can sell one thing for $10 and sell it however many times to make $1 million, but you can sell like one for 1,000 this many times to make $1 million. It's like, when you're dealing with houses, you're dealing with the bigger of the thing. So you don't need to sell a lot of those to get to the million. So since I'm doing that, it's like, man, if I had just started a long time ago and just did a consistent 2 deals a year, I would be way ahead. So anybody who's looking to get into anything that they're passionate about, start early.
Yeah.
Stay consistent.
And that's another thing about this show. I'm glad you said that's a good tidbit, because I want this show to inspire young people to want to start earlier, to be an entrepreneur earlier. Entrepreneurship is the greatest way to freedom, you know? And not just financial freedom, but mental freedom, you know, to where you don't have to listen to what somebody else is telling you every single day, and then you're working 40 hours a week, and you're still miserable on the weekends because you got to go right back on Monday. You know, do the same thing. And you talk about wash, rinse, repeat. You don't want that wash, rinse, repeat right there. I'm gonna tell you that right there. You know, it's miserable. And I was talking with them at the party, and I was kind of defining what the show meant. And I'm like, well, I'm doing this because I meet so many people that work a 9 to 5, and they're just miserable. They can be making $300,000 a year, but it doesn't matter. They got to wake up on Monday and work 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever the case is. They got to do it over and over again. I was like, and this show is to help them, to inspire them to see people that were in the 9 to 5 that are now not in the 9 to 5, and to get rid of all those excuses that they have kids or this or that, this and that. Set yourself up, of course. Nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5.
And I still have a 9 to 5. Even with the real estate stuff, I still have a 9 to 5, right? Because I set a goal for myself. And until I hit that goal, well, actually, I set a goal between me and my girl, right? Because I had a lower goal, but she thought the goal should be a higher goal. You see what I'm saying?
They always think a little bit more.
They do be doing that. They do be doing that. So, anyways, yeah.
She wants to walk every day.
To walk every day, and you know she likes to fillet me. So yeah, you know. But the thing is, I still work a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong. Well, there's something wrong with it. Like I can't. Anyways, but I still work 9 to 5. But you know, I'm there because I have my mind right. I have a goal. We're going to it, and once we hit it, I will be working never again. That's my plan. Yeah. To never have to work again.
Hey, that's the plan. You know, like that's what Fonny said in the first one. He said, "I'm genuinely happy, and I feel like I don't work ever a day in my life now."
Living his best one.
I know he's out there flipping the clothes, hitting events, all that stuff, man. And you know, this is, you know, like I always do it. I got 2 questions left. Every time I got 2 left. You know what the last one is. I always tell everybody the last question. But you know, we always had the broken beats. We always had that. And then we transitioned to the innovators. You know.
Innovators.
Yes, exactly. So how, like, within your business or just in general in life, how do you like encourage like innovative ideas into people?
You know, I think I always say everybody's got like a superpower or whatever it is to them, and I got a few.
Flex them.
But I think one of my powers is just to get people excited about what I have going on and bring that into them. So I think one of the ways to kind of innovate or the people around me or whatever is just to help them see it and be that physical person. Like we talk about in music, there's always somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows Jay-Z, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure that I'm the person that you know. Like I want Chris to be able to say like, hey, you trying to flip houses? Like Nelson does that. Not my homie. Like, no, this guy over here does it. So I want to get people excited about it, and I want to be a physical person that they can reach out and say, oh yeah, I know this cat, and I can see X, Y, and Z. He's got the proof to show it. So that's what I want to do. I just want to be accessible. There's a lot of people in real estate that encourage me, that are helping me out, who haven't asked me for a dime, and they're helping me. They're innovating my mind state, right? From what I thought I was gonna do or what I want to do. Mm-hmm. There's a cat that I met named Charlie, so shout out to him. And it's like you just meet people, and I just want to make sure I'm the person that continues to innovate them, and like somebody's doing me.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. See. Innovators over here in this thing, you know, we try to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. Listen. So I ended like this with this question to everybody, and because
shout out Bees McCrimmon, I did see that name.
What's up, BZ? Hey, what's good? What's good, Cat? How you living? So the last question, like I said, I asked the same question to everybody, and it's a crucial question because I feel like you internally need to know yourself before you can really have a true answer to this question to yourself.
I'm gonna take a minute before I just jump off.
So, how do you, in Banks, aka this is Broken Beats, define success, bro?
Success to me, oh man, this is an easy one because I know it. Success to me is waking up every day stress-free and happy. Mm-hmm. You know what though? The other day, and you know we talked, so I'm just like talking. The other day I had a line in my head. I can't remember what I even said, but like my mama told me she's proud of me. And so it's like now I can. I forgot the bar. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, my mom says she's proud of me. Now I can. I don't know what it is, but basically, you know, my mom when she comes over here and we hang out, she tells me she's proud of me. That's all I need. Like for me, for my mom to be proud of me and Dominic to be happy about what I got going on, or for him to be happy for me and me to be happy and love them, really that's what success is to me. And then my girl on top of it. So success to me is waking up every day stress-free and being happy. That's it. It's not a money. No, it's not money. It's not having stuff. It's not any of that other stuff. Success is waking up knowing that I can hit up Beezy, Joe, Joey, Chris, my homies from day one, and if they pick up the phone and then we talk like we seen each other yesterday, my mom's proud of me, Dominic is straight, and my girl's happy. That to me is success. That's it. It's not money, not material things, not all that stuff. Now we are going to get the money, and don't forget that we are going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But as long as when I call those people's phones, it rings and they pick up and they hit me back, that's a success, man. The house is paid for, all that good stuff. I'm good.
Hey, you heard it here first. Love that success, man. Love that success story. Well, I do the same thing every damn time. I do the same thing every damn time. Your girl's in here if you want to say hi to her.
She is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you make sure you stay doing what you're doing.
Like I always tell y'all.
Hey, because I think we're going to go get something after this so you can chill out and keep on working on the houses if that's what you're doing.
Hey, if you don't remember anything he said.
Yes, sir.
Or anything I said.
Okay.
Always remember, mind your business. Peace!